Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome to. My name is Maya and this is Inspired by Maya. It really has been a long time. I feel like I should get a cup of tea or something. One second. And I'm back, got my cup of tea. You have to have a cup of tea with custard creams, like if you don't know about that thing, and get to know. Wait there, let me just eat my first biscuit because ow, it's hot. Okay, so where do I even begin though? Because like a lot has happened, to be honest. One, I'm tired. It's just been really chaotic. Like I haven't had any time to record because obviously I started my new job and I'm full time. Plus I'm still working my old job as well, so time is not on my side. But I don't know, I'm still trying to establish a routine around it all. It's getting really hard, and then because I wasn't sewing for so long, I really lost my inspiration and I just couldn't, like, the thought of making something so simple was just so hard. But I'm on a little holiday break right now, which has allowed me to just kind of like get into the gist of things again, and I've made my patterns and I'm just like sampling all of that stuff now, which is going well. But it's kind of like, oh, I nearly forgot something. I had a disaster as well. I lost everything on my computer. I was updating my laptop and then it got stuck in a boot loop. And then, what did I do? I forgot what I did. I don't even know what I was doing. And then I managed to get the update on it. But my stuff was on the encrypted file, but I didn't know the password. So I was asking my dad, asking him to help me, and then I don't know what happened, but it's all gone. I didn't know the password, and then it turns out I found the password afterwards. So, but I have to look on the bright side anyway because it allowed me to start from fresh. So like I made my basic blocks again, fitted it. Literally the sampling process took forever, and then I was able to just like start working from that to make my new patterns, and then it's allowed me to keep up to date with it. So the corset blouse, for example, that blouse, that pattern's finished, is up on my Etsy. The link will be in the description box down below. So I've graded that from a size UK 4 to a UK 16. But it's kind of like really helping me when I'm making something, I'm actually finishing the project instead of just like being, oh, I'll come back to it, because I never do. You know what I mean? So it's like helping me stick to my goals and be more organized and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that with the videos that I release, with what I make, the pattern will always be available. But it may not always be, just because my pattern making skills, like I'm self-taught in everything. So like sometimes I just won't feel confident releasing something. I don't want you to buy something that's not gonna work. But yeah, I'll always like sample my patterns and stuff before I actually like release it. But yeah, that's that. So really, yeah, I was just really under a lot. There's a lot going on, but I'm back and I'm better now. I'm hoping I do have some projects lined up. Sometimes because of like time restrictions, I may have to split my videos into parts just so I can give like good explanations for them. And it'll help me to just break down the editing over the weeks, months, or whatever. I can't even give a time that I'll be able to release frequently, like every Sunday, this, that and another, because I honestly don't know, and because every project takes its own length of time. But yeah, I think that's all I've got to say. So in today's video, we're going to be making stretchy pintuck flares. Really easy to do, like proper easy. It's literally just a couple stitches and you're done. The pattern's gonna be available on my Etsy page if you want to buy it. You could do it in a day. Sorry guys, I got a bit of a cold. Literally sew it up in a day. Obviously me, it's taken more than a day. But literally hours. You could probably do it in about 3-4 hours. It's definitely perfect for a beginner as well. The only difficult step that you may face or may need extra equipment for is the invisible zipper in the back, because although the pant's stretchy, we're going to be putting a facing on the waistband, so it's not going to have like as much stretch as it would if it was a single layer, basically. So I'm going to put an invisible zipper in the back of the pant, but they're not really hard to insert, so it'll be okay. But yeah, I don't want to talk anymore, so let's get onto the video. So first I started by assembling my pattern, which is available on my Etsy page. The link will be in the description box. I tried to be as size inclusive as I could with these, so I created a tall, petite and regular range. I haven't managed to do curve yet, but someday in the future I will. Next I had to make a facing because I forgot to print one, so I quickly did that, and then the next morning I started to cut my pattern out. You can see me using a seam ripper to cut the little slits along the pintuck lines so that I can mark where I'll sew. I made sure to test my water soluble marker on the fabric first and then continue to make my markings. So I'm using a beige stretch Bengaline fabric. It's super stretchy, so it's perfect for a project like this. Then I cut all my pieces out and chilled for the rest of the day because a girl was tired. This thing sounds like a robot for real. I decided it was time for my old machine to retire and I brought this bad boy. I'm still getting used to it though. Anyways, I swapped my needle out for a stretchy needle because we don't want our fabric to get snagged. Then I went ahead to sew the center front seam. I'm using 0.6 centimeter seam allowance, so I positioned my needle in accordance to that and then sewed with a straight stitch. You can and probably should use a zigzag stitch when working with stretchy fabric, but I don't actually know why I used a straight stitch, but it worked fine. Then I overlocked my seam. I just did a closed seam this time instead of overlocking each side. And then next I moved on to preparing my pin tucks for sewing. Make sure your fabric is right sides facing you and then start pinning from the bottom of the pant leg upwards. I just folded it in half so that I get the perfect center and then carried on pinning up the leg. I did that for all 4 of my leg pieces. Look at how slim the leg looks like. It's crazy to think that this is gonna fit me. Once that was done, I sewed my pin tucks at about 1mm away from the edge so that I get a 2mm pin tuck, which is 0.2 centimeters. Again, I just used a straight stitch for this, and make sure you take your time to be accurate with this because any mess ups will be hard to miss as this is a style feature on the pant. I always recommend having your fabric edge line up to the edge of the presser foot or a line that's on the machine and then position the needle from that point. Hey guys, it's been like 2-3 days since I did that last recording, but I couldn't continue the project because I didn't have the invisible zipper, but it's arrived now and I just wanted to show you what one looks like. So basically this is the front side of the zipper and it's completely flat, and this is the back side where you can see the zipper teeth ridges, and then when we open it, it's a closed end, so it won't separate. Open end zippers separate, and that's what you get on like coats and stuff like that. But anyways, that's what it looks like. And then the foot that you're going to need to attach it is this. It's an invisible zipper foot, so mine just snaps on to the like a normal foot, and then it has these ridges on the inside. I don't know if you can see it like right there, and basically these zipper teeth kind of slot into those ridges when you're sewing, and then it gets really close to the edge. So the closer your stitch gets to the edge, the more invisible your zipper will look basically. So yeah, let's get on with it. So next I just took my 2 back pieces, right sides facing up, and put the zipper right sides facing down on top of the left side of the pant. I opened it up and pinned the right side to the center back edge. When you're pinning, you want the top of the zipper where it stops going up to be about 1 centimeter down from the top, so that when we sew our facing on later, everything will sew up easily without having to sew over any plastic bits. And also this is a good reference point for when we sew the other side up because it will match up, meaning our pant pieces will match back up perfectly, if that makes sense. When I'm sewing, you can see that I'm making sure the zipper teeth are inside the groove of the foot, because if it isn't, we'll be able to see part of the zip fabric when we're finished, which means that our zip isn't invisible. And if the zip isn't in the groove properly, you may be sewing on it, which wouldn't allow you to zip the zipper up after. So just make sure that you take your time with this step unless you want to do some unpicking. Then I just did all of that to the other side of the pant. As you can see, the zipper has been inserted and it looks beautiful, but we're not finished yet. We just need to close the center back. So I'm using a normal zipper foot to get as close as I can to the stitch we made attaching the zipper, and then I'm sewing the rest closed following my seam allowance line. Next you want to overlock your seam. So I finished the zip, but you know when things are going too well, it's too good to be true. So I'm overlocking the first side of the zip and everything's going well. Then this side starts to get a bit stiff and then boom, boom, boom. I don't know, my needle broke and everything, but this has upset me because everything was going so nicely. And also I realized I used 1 centimeter seam allowance for the invisible zipper, and the pattern I only put 0.6, so really it's gonna fit a little bit tighter around my butt area, but just to let you guys know. But anyways, yeah, I'm really upset. I could cry about this right now, but I'm gonna just sew up the side seams. So you know what, it's been a very long time since I recorded that last clip, but I'm going to quickly say why. I really got put off because I was overlocking the zip area and it messed up. It caused my zip to get all ripped up and like the quality I just wasn't feeling it. But basically you don't have to overlock the zip to the seam allowance because the zip sides won't fray, so you can just keep the zip separate and overlock these pieces to prevent this from happening. I was going to start again, but I also can't be bothered to do that, so I'm just going to continue with it. But anyways, my zipper is inserted really nicely. This fabric does it so nice, it's just beautiful. Anyways, can't remember if I showed you me sewing up the crotch seam and the side seams, but I've done that and I'm just going to overlock them. I'm not going to do a separate overlock, I'm just going to overlock it all together because it's a stretchy fabric, so it should be fine. And then after that, the last thing to do is add the facing onto the waistband. So I've overlocked the sides, and honestly my overlocker is really annoying because it doesn't cut as a sew and it just causes the fabric to like fold over and stuff, but that's something I need to get sorted. Anyways, I also overlocked the bottom of the pants, and I'm just gonna fold it in. I think it's by 2 centimeters, that was what I put on the pattern, and I'm just gonna do a straight stitch all around. Then I'm gonna add the facing. So here's my facing pieces, the back and the front. So if I open out the front, I cut it on the fold, so I won't have to sew up a center front seam. But with the back, it's in pieces because the back opens obviously because of the zip. So all we're gonna do is take the side seam pieces and pin and sew them together. So I finished finalizing my waistband now. Obviously I overlocked the bottom and I just decided to do these like little top stitches on the side seam, and I also added my label. So now I'm just going to take my pant and I've opened up the zipper at the back, and we're just going to pin with the facing, right sides facing the fabric, and we're just going to pin all around. I'm just going to match up the side seams with the side seams as well. So when you reach round to the back, basically we're just going to keep pinning, and then when we reach the zip area, we're just going to, I always extend mine a bit just to be on the safe side so that I have enough fabric, but basically when we get to this area, we're going to pin right on where the zipper teeth are. So as you can see, it's creating that little divot, and that's where the zipper teeth are, and we're gonna go in with our zipper foot and sew really close to that line so that when we flip it out, let me just pin it so I can show you, we'll get this really nice clean edge facing basically. So yeah, in my pattern I think I used 1 centimeter, so I'm just going to sew 1 centimeter all along the top of the facing, and then I'm going to change to my zipper foot and sew as close as I can to the zipper teeth. So this is what your waistband should be looking like. I'm just gonna snip like the curvy bits of the facing This will release the tension and allow the waistband to lie flatter. Try not to cut the stitches though. And then I'm just gonna flip it around and move to the back. So as you can see, we've got this excess piece of fabric here. I'm just gonna trim that off. And then we just need to trim these corners. So as you can see, there's a crossing point right here, and we're just gonna trim above that. And then I'm just gonna trim the sides here. Make sure you don't trim on that crossing point, otherwise your stitches will come out. But that's just to allow the corner to be nice and pointed and sharp. Just gonna trim off any other threads I have as well. And you wanna do that to the other side. And then once you've done that, we can flip it the right way around. To make this lay flatter, you could do a top stitch. So I think I'm going to do that because the fabric's quite stretchy and structured and it does need to lay flat. So I'll just open it up and sew right on top with the seam allowance facing towards the facing and just do a straight stitch. But I'll do that in a second. But I just want to show you what the pants look like when it's all closed up. So when I zip it up, this is what the back looks like. And everything is nice and even, and it still holds its stretch as well, which is really good. So yeah, I'm just going to do that top stitch and then I'm going to hem the bottom of the pants. So after I finished the top stitching, I just went ahead and hemmed my pants with a straight stitch, and that brought us to the end of the garment making. So here's the final reveal. Hey guys, editing my hair again. Yeah, I really enjoyed making these pants. They were so easy, but obviously I had that little hiccup which put me off, but I promise you it's easy breezy, easy sailing. The only thing that I want to say about these pants is that when I was doing the facing, you might just want to tack down the facing to the side seams. So on the side seams of the pant at the waist, do a stitch in a ditch, and that will stop the waistband from the facing from popping out basically. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video and that you learnt something from it. I do have another video coming out soon, but I can't say when I'm going to post it because I don't. But yeah, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.